going on, guys? It's Jeff from the Adventures of A&J. Before we start Chapter 12 review of My Hero Academia, head down to the bottom, click the bell, subscribe, like this video, share, comment, all of that. Now let's get into the video. I want to start off with where to start? Iida. Iida's gotta be where we start at. Iida is a lame, bruh. For one more reason, his fuel is orange juice, and he can't drink soda. Soda stalls out his engine quirk. How square do you have to be that OJ is what gets you going and soda is what slows you down? Come on, bro. You're a high school student. You're a high school student. Moving on from that, I think it's interesting going to see more of the actual real world's effect on this story, where there's reporters knocking at the school because it's been revealed All Might now teaches at UA. And with that, there's going to be so much attention on UA all the time that's going to be pretty tough on the students coming back and forth, as long as All Might refuses to do an interview with them on why he's there and this, that, and the other. And we see going through the chapter that lets us, that kind of opens the door for villain attacks. We were introduced to villains in the last chapter, and one of them I'm pretty sure makes an appearance at UA. The guy with the hands, I guess the hands aren't on him all the time, and so the villains also have costumes. That's a revelation we're shown here. But we see that everyone's quirk is not like, I keep calling him the bird guy, but anyone whose quirk is on all the time, I'm sure there's going to be a name for that. Everyone's quirk is not like that, and this villain, the one with the hands all around him, he's obviously not like that because he blends right in with the reporters. There's also another reporter right off to the side of a panel that is like not interested in the students or like the gate that we're shown. Like, he's really just kind of analyzing what's going on about the school. Like, he's trying to take mental notes, and that could just be like a one-off thing, or it could come back later. But you kind of, it sticks out because he's the one person who in the entire panel not focused on, I think it was Iida was the one out there, Eraserhead. So going back to the beginning, the panel where we learned some more about Todoroki doesn't really explain how special recommendation works. And that's one of my big questions at this point in the story, is like, how did they get in? Because they obviously didn't go take the test, which is cool, because there's always going to be a recommendation system. There's like that in public or in private schools. In public school, everybody get in. But like in private schools, like, either you can just pay yourself to get in, or you take the entrance exam to be accepted, but there's always going to be like special ways for you to get in. Maybe their parents are alumni. That's a popular thing in private schools. Or maybe they had like such high grades coming out of their middle school that like they took a different kind of test. I don't know. I want to know. It's interesting to me that Eraserhead asked the students of 1A to go vote for a class president right off the bat, because I'm assuming we're just getting into the school year, and so they don't really know each other well. But my assumption on this is that you can tell good people from the start. More times than not, you can get a feel for how someone is and be able to sense some of their core traits. And maybe this is like another test for them from Eraserhead to be like, okay, let's see who y'all think is a good person, who has good hero characteristics. And that could be digging too deep. It kind of reminds me, because they have to go vote and they have the option to vote for themselves, and I would have voted for myself. So, small story, when I was in college playing ball, I had an offensive line coach that we sat out, I want to say this was during spring ball, before my junior year, during my junior year, and I've been playing very well, and they had asked us around the room he told us to pull out one of our note pages and write down who we had as the best offensive lineman in the room. Like, who would you think was the best offensive lineman in the room? And me and one of my friends, Frank, had got the two most votes. And so, like, we went around. Because after doing that, he asked everyone who they voted for. So it was to see, like, what other people thought of you. So we went around and he got around and was like, who did you vote for? And Frank said, I voted for myself. I'm confident in my own abilities. And I was like, I also voted for myself because I'll be damned if I don't think I'm the best one in here. Like, and it's that mentality that I don't think anybody in class when they voted for themselves, well, everyone did. Everyone voted for themselves except for, like, Iida didn't vote for himself. He voted for Midoriya. Ochako voted for Midoriya. And then somebody else voted for Momo because she had 2 votes. So I assume she voted for herself. Somebody else did. And we're not seeing who, like, doesn't have 0 votes to be able to tell us, which is good job by you, Horikoshi. So all that was just to say that, like, it's a good way to see how your peers feel about you after having a vote where you are able to vote for yourself. And if someone still wins, they're obviously highly thought of because someone thought more of you than themselves. So solid touch by Horikoshi. Moving on past that, I think that Iida is bound to be. He would have been better for class rep. One, because he was gonna take it more serious than Momo, or, well, I don't know, maybe not Momo, because she's kind of like that too. Iida would have been good because he would have been full throttle with everything to keep the class in line. He was gonna be on it. So I feel like he probably deserved it more, and I think that the sleeping bag thing is funny. Maybe it has something to do with his quirk, and it could also have something to do with Eraserhead's mentality, because I think he has to be staring at you for it to work. Like, he always has, like, this glare when he's used his quirk. So maybe he takes, like, these random naps, and it makes him appear lazy, but he's really doing it because, like, he never knows when he's gonna have to go fight or something. Who knows? I think that the hype Iida has, and I'm sorry, guys, and I'm going, like, so all around in this chapter. It's just like I really enjoyed the last chapter, so it had me really hyped for this chapter. And then reading it, I enjoyed this chapter too. So I'm just I'm floating, man. I'm sorry. I'm enjoying the content. So just bear with me. But I think Iida's brother is weak. Because, and I have a younger brother who is also extremely creative, because I'm extremely creative. No, but, like, a lot of your younger brother's traits come from you, intentionally or unintentionally. Just because, like, younger brothers tend to look up to their older brothers and gravitate towards what they think are good qualities. And Iida's a lame. So his brother's probably equal to lame, if not a greater lame, because Iida's aspiring to be like him, and we see what type of character Iida is. It's just, I think his brother's probably a lame. Now, that's not to say that he's not a good hero or a by-the-book hero, because I'm sure he is. I'm sure that, like, there's a reason why Iida values him so much besides them being related. He's obviously got something else going for him. It's just, I don't think he's the type of character I would pull for, personally. I enjoyed the explanation on how kind of UA's school system is, where they have, like, support courses, which means sidekick courses, which is kind of weird, because I think it was right after the Sludge villain. A pro hero came up to Bakugo and asked him, like, hey, when you graduate from UA, come be a sidekick at my agency. So if people that take the hero courses can be sidekicks, why do they have a sidekick course? Like, are they better sidekicks than heroes are, or more focused sidekicks? I don't know. It's kind of weird. But there's a support character course. There's like a business course. So I think the business course is kind of like the marketing side of superheroes, where you're like around superheroes and they all have quirks, or most of them have quirks. But like it's more on how do we get more sponsorships for a hero agency and probably that sort of thing. I don't know. I'm just glad that they mentioned what else goes on, and you have 3 years. So if all of these classes, there's like 2 classes, and there's 3 different paths in 3 years, it's a lot of students at UA. I was finna do the math, and I'm still kind of doing it in my head. I think we're at around 540 raw numbers, around 540 if everything has a A and a B. But I don't know, man. I'm still geeking over this. Deku is inspiring others now. Sorry about my... Deku is inspiring others now. I found that interesting because Iida has a moment where he's noticing the panic and he's like, okay, it's not as big a deal as the students think it is currently, because there's still like an issue going on, but like he sees the mass chaos and he stops and thinks to himself, WWMD. What would Midoriya do? And that leads him to a great idea to divert attention and ease everyone, which further stakes his claim to be like the representative or president or class leader or whatever we're going to call that title that was just voted upon. He deserves to be up there because like he's showing true leadership skills and worrying about the betterment of UA as an institution versus what does he have to gain from the position. But it's just interesting because Midoriya was also thought of to be weak or insignificant by Iida when they first met, because he called him out during that assembly with Loud Buddy, with voice here, Present Mike. With Present Mike, he told him like, "Hey, stop muttering. Like, are you mocking this test? Like, are you really trying to be here, or are you trying to distract her?" And we find out a lot of this just Iida's natural personality, but he's gone from where he questioned if he was supposed to be there to a character where he's thinking his actions are greater than what Iida will come up on his own. And I think that shows a lot of growth so far in chapter 12 or in 12. So the growth from 1 to 12 for Deku is just outstanding. I like Ochako. I like Ochako because she's filterless. And it's not that she's not considerate, but she is very straightforward in how she communicates with people. And I value that as a trait in people, period. Not just in anime or manga. I value like your ability to just keep it 100 with me. And she demonstrates that, which is a nice touch. And it's also a nice touch for a female character because we, especially in America, think that females will sugarcoat things. Girls will sugarcoat things to try to spare your feelings. And I am 1,000% for you telling me how you really feel. Like, I like that. I like that a lot. The cliffhanger at the end of the chapter is where I'm going to leave a cliffhanger at the end of this video. In that we see the front gate has been melted. It's been melted down. And after the introduction of villains, and we had the last villain show up, apparently one of them has the quirk to melt things. Maybe he can melt anything, maybe just metal, or he could have phased. That's the great part of My Hero Academia, is that we have no idea what he did. We have no idea. I mean, we know that like the gate's damaged and it's been breached and the media had rushed in, but we don't know like what he did to do it. There's such a wide range for his potential quirk to fall under. And now we know that their plan is to go find a way to kill All Might. Like they have it where, alright, the symbol of peace, he teaches here, we got him. We finna go kill him. And the plan is in motion. So where we go from here, I wanna see the bartender guy. shadow bartender. I want to see what he does. Maybe he was there. What if he was the reporter that wasn't paying attention? Like, what if that's him in regular clothes? I don't know, man. This is just I'm enjoying this as a whole. Like this, comment, subscribe. Oh, I'm sorry. This video. I'm sorry. I called this a video. I'm tweaking out, man. This chapter was a 7 out of 10 for me because the cliffhanger, although I enjoyed it, I'm just kind of excited to see what we get to next. 7 out of 10. Peace.